But can we be calm? Okay. We're talking about branding in this digital era where, I mean, everything is very digital. And some of you may think that, oh, you're just living in your own small world, nobody knows you. And so, why should I even have a brand? Why should I be particular about everything I do? Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, we're all working brands. Every single one of you, whether you're in GIJ, hey, now Unimark, right? Some of us, we can't get used to the Unimark. We're still thinking GIJ, but I mean, pardon me. And you're thinking that, oh, you are not a brand. I mean, whatever it is you want to do, you think you can do it, and then that's it. Let me take you back to hey, that was somewhere 2016. Come to think of it, it's been quite a long time when I was back in GIG, and I was extremely particular about how I looked, to how I walked, how I talked, how I presented myself, and some of my mates thought that I was doing too much. I mean, everybody in the school thought that Anita was just too extra. But little did they know that I knew where I wanted to take my brand, even as at that time. I was in level 200, and I realized that, hey, I can't wait till I get to level 400 before I start, getting opportunities or connecting myself with people in the outside world and trying to make the most of it. So, as early as level 200, I decided that why not put myself out there in the best way possible. So, from internships to getting connected with people, that will serve my purpose. That will serve me what exactly I want to do in my life. That was my intention. And so for me, I realized that, okay, it won't be easy to say that you're working to a media house to say that they should employ me. One, you don't even have a certificate. And even when it comes to internships as well, it may be difficult to get those opportunities. So I devised a strategy that I was going to get into pageantry. That was an easy way for people to notice me or get connected with the people who have the power to say that, oh, we can put you on television, we can do this. And then it worked. And right from that moment as well, I told myself that every single thing I do, it has to be very intentional and it has to be authentic. It has to be what I truly want to communicate, not what society is expecting. Especially because if you want to get to this media space, there are a lot of perceptions. My parents especially, they had a lot of those perceptions, and especially my dad, for instance, felt like you cannot be in this space and not, be all prim and proper or be yourself. You'll be swayed at some point. And I felt like no, you can still be in the media, be your authentic self, carry yourself very well, and still succeed. And that was my objective. And so fast forward, I mean, after my pageantry days and all of that, I made sure that even with the way I talk, it has to communicate something. It has to show how serious I am. It has to show my potential of wanting to be in this space. And so right from the get-go, I knew what I wanted. And so this morning I'm asking you, you sitting here, do you know what you want? Or you are in GIJ or Unimark just because you feel like, oh, I've seen Alfred on television. I've seen Anita on television, so I want to be like them. I get a lot of DMs and I'm wondering, okay, is this something you really want to do or it's because you see how fancy it looks? Are you ready to channel your inner authentic self and make it happen? Because trust me, there are so many people who were in my class that now I may walk into a bank and I see some of my mates there, which is great. But I'm wondering, why then did you come to GIG? Because obviously what you wanted to do from the onset was totally different. It has to be something that you are extremely passionate about. And that takes me to my next point. It was something I was so passionate about that from everything I did, people around me knew that no, this girl wanted to do this. So right from the very first opportunity I got to be on television, it was evident because even the lady who discovered me, and that also is part of the opportunities I got out of taking that initiative right from level 200 to say that I don't, okay, let's see if this one will be better. Hey, looks like it's, okay. Can you hear me? All right. So there's a lady that throughout my story, her name keeps recurring in every step of my life. She's been there right from day one through to now. Her name is Apefa. So the moment I stepped into our first recording for Miss Malaika, I went in with a plan and an intention that, see, every single person who hears me talking, that person should want to put me on TV. That person should want to do something for me. It was part of my prayer topic. And so the very first recording we had, she looked at me, and after just one take, she was like, I'll put you on television. And I was like, okay, looks like we're going somewhere. But I was also wondering, hey, will she really put me on television? Because it could be that it was in the spur of the moment that she got excited about my delivery and was like, okay, I'll put you on television. But guess what? She was the one who gave me my first TV opportunity. And every single place I've worked, she's the one who's held my hand and dragged me there. That is the power of planning. That is the power of making sure that whatever you want to do, you communicate it effectively. Let people see you for who you want to become. Because people cannot get into your head. The people you want to connect you to opportunities, they can't get into your head. But it's about how you act, how you project yourself. They can read your body language to see how serious you are. Some of your lecturers, some of your friends, they are seeing you for who you are, your seriousness and all of that. And in terms of your branding as well, imagine if when I walked in and I did not look the part, I did not present myself as the part that I want to be taken serious, to be given opportunities, you will not get them. Sometimes some of your mates may tell you that, oh, you're doing too much. You come for lectures and you look the part. You're very organized in how you want your things to be. You will get all of those comments. There was absolutely not a single day on GIJ campus that I didn't hear things about myself. Oh, amazing, they'll come and tell me, hey, yes, you're too low, Papa. Hey, they won't dress here, they go back campus, I'm watching heels in again. Yes, you're training. Oh, wait, you're here in the car now, when you're serious with academics like that. There are so many things I heard, but are you going to allow those things to deter you? Absolutely no. Those same people that said those same things about me, there's been times I've met some of them and they're like, oh wow, we're so happy for you. We're glad, blah, blah, blah. And those people were some of my seniors. And today, those people, some of them are actually my friends. And guess what? Several years down the line, those same people, after I decided to come back to GID again, now they are my friends like this. So you see, if you allow what people say to affect you or get to you, trust me, you're not going anywhere. Because in your journey towards wanting to become who you are, you will hear so many things. But once you believe that you are being your authentic self, there's absolutely nothing that will deter you. From family to friends to people around you. I think weeks ago or some days ago, I had a chance to be part of one of the training sessions for Radio GIJ. And this is a little bit of something I shared with them about wanting to do this. It's a tough space. It's a tough to make. When I wanted to do this, for instance, the people I expected to support me and realize where I wanted to, be in future, oh, they did not see my plan. And that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine if people do not see where you want to take your brand, where you want to take yourself. At the end of the day, you're the one wearing the shoes. You know how tight they are or how loose they are. So if you think this will be good for you, my darling, do not let anybody talk you down. I kept telling myself that for what I want to do, I'll do it. I will go. If I hit the wall and it doesn't work, I will come back and take the advice of my parents. That's fair enough, right? Or you think it doesn't make sense? Because at the end of the day, if this is what I truly want to do and I know I will be happy while doing it, why should I hop onto something that I know I'm not going to be happy? I knew very well that for the nursing my dad wanted me to do, it wasn't going to make me happy. It wasn't something I was passionate about. I imagined myself being in a hospital and someone will come around and the person is sick and I'll end up crying with the person. Because I'm too emotional and I feel like somehow I have to inject the person and me myself, I'm afraid of needles. So how do I inject you? I'll end up being afraid with you. How does that work? But I imagined myself like being the talkative that I am, being on television or standing in front of people talking and being really, really good at it. So why not choose something I'm passionate about? And I'm asking you this morning, being here at Unima, are you really passionate about what you're doing? Let me see my hand, those of you who are passionate about this. Don't raise your hand because everyone is raising their hand. Yeah? Are you really passionate? Like this is something you really want to do? Are you sure? Are you sure it's not seeing Bella TV looking all that is making or seeing cookie on TV that is making you want to do this? Then that's good. That's a good step then. Then it means that when you're in a conversation with other people and they are trying to talk you down, you know where you're coming from and you know where you're going. And that's an excellent step. Now, let me take you to social media, especially because our topic is hovering around the digital space. And right from the get go, it looks like me and Kasadi, I had a lot of attacks where in almost everything I wanted to do. The kind of beatings I received from my dad when he found out I was on Facebook somewhere in 2009, 2010, thereabout, I will never forget it. Just because I decided to create a Facebook account, because I felt like, oh, yeah, social media was, the ish then, and you can take pictures. And so I'll dress up and I'll go to a studio and then where take pictures. I was in SS then, but this one I was like, no, 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 no. Why are you on social media? And constantly, he was on my neck. So I had to find a way to block like family members, block them on my social media. Not that I was doing anything bad, but because they did not understand it and they felt like it was going to be a negative influence. And I'm sure even in this day and age, there are some parents who still believe that and they think that why should you be on social media? Why should you even have a phone? But these are things that will help you build a brand. You are in a communication school. And in this era as well, there's a lot happening on social media, but you choose what you allow to influence you. It is not what the crowd is moving with. Me, there's absolutely no issue on social media that I don't follow. Even the fights, the banters and all, I follow it. But does it affect my way of thinking? No. Sometimes I listen to it for comic relief. I feel like these people are comedians. I just listen, I laugh, and I move on. But it's up to you. Do you have that mental strength to say that I'm not allowing what is happening on social media to affect me? And so right from the onset, I told myself that everything I was going to do on social media, I should be getting something out of it. It has to be a way of telling a story about my brand that someone, even before approaching me, a brand before approaching me, can look on my social media and say, we want to work with this person. We want to use her for something because she's a perfect fit for it. So there's that intentionality. What are you posting on your socials? Because now I don't believe that you have to be on television or you have to be popular to create a certain kind of niche for yourself. You don't have to. There are people who we don't even see them on TV. We don't even know them as public figures. But they are commanding so much authority on social media that it will amaze you. So in terms of growing your pages and making sure that your content resonates with what you believe in, it is very important. Let me give you this example. My very first opportunity working with any brand was GTP, somewhere as far back as 2016 thereabouts. And as at that time, I had not worked with any brand yet. I didn't really know how this whole terrain worked. And the first thing the CEO talked about when he called me was about your social media. Oh, we've seen you post pictures wearing nice African prints and all of that, and we think you are the best fit for this. And then I went back on my page and I was like, okay, what at all was I posting? And at that time, the old campus, the Ring Road campus, there are some nice houses around the place. Yes, those were my photo studios. So after lectures, I'll draft friends and then we'll walk all the way and then make sure that we get a nice location, take really nice pictures. I'm not selling anything, but I felt like it was a way of also, pushing my brand. I was still in GIJ then, but I'll take nice pictures of my outfits, and that was expensive, not like it's anything expensive. We will go to Kantamanto, early in the morning on Saturdays. You go and buy it, but eventually you iron it nicely and rock it well, take pictures. And it was through those things that I got the opportunities that I got in those days with GTP and the other brands I work with. So there's nothing like you have to look expensive. No. There's nothing like that. It's about being your authentic self. Trust me, to date, I still go to Accra. Because there's certain things you want that if you go to these shops, Sue and things, it's expensive. And if I want, like, let's say, suitcase, I'm traveling, I want a suitcase and I cannot afford the Louis Vuittons and things, why not go to Accra where you can get a 3 sets for maybe 500 cedis or 1,000 Ghana? It makes sense. So sometimes you may come on campus and you see people looking all flashy and looking all whatever. Don't be moved though. The little you have, you can make do with it. You want to be on television. You've gone for auditions. You've been talking to people and making sure that, you get certain opportunities. Don't downplay the little you have in terms of looking the part. Even now that, I mean, for master students, there's one of our lecturers that is constantly talking about how you look. Dr. Tambo, I don't know if most of you know him. He's constantly talking about this, and I'm like, okay, at this level too, I'm thinking, okay, they expect that we will know, but he's still hammering on it. How you look is, it's not about looking, expensive, but it communicates something about your confidence. There's something about looking the parts that gives me so much confidence that I don't know how to even explain it. Yesterday, I made a post on X that I'm such a shy person, but when I tell people, they don't believe it. But guess what gives me confidence? When I wake up in the morning, I'm healthy. That is confidence number one. I'm grateful to God for the gift of life. I mean, that gives me the confidence that I can do everything. But you know what? After dressing up and making sure that, okay, today I want to look like professional. I want to look like, yeah, I'm coming out. When I walk into any room, that confidence alone should speak for me. The moment I look that way, there's absolutely nothing me. I know that I can conquer. Because I walk with so much confidence. And I know that even if what I'm wearing, I picked it up from the roadside, like 2 CDs, bend down, select or whatever, I have robbed it so well because as students, you can't go and break the bank just to look the part. You can't. Back in the days when I was in GIG, after school, when I closed and I walked fire service, that police headquarters road, take trotro. When you get to circle along the road, they sell dresses and things. Oh, that time I hadn't even gone for Miss Malaiko, some people knew me. But so what? I'll make sure that if it's shoes, I through and make sure I get a few things that are nice because we underestimate those vendor people. We think that you're fools. Please, fools look at the channel. I know product quality, because some of the jeans that you have, I say you're fools. But what we send our wash because we see empire. What store they are going to. So you see, it is those little things, and it's not about breaking the bank. I keep hammering on that because a lot of you have that perception that you have to break the bank to look really good. I'm seeing a lot of you sitting here looking really good, very simple outfits, very nice hairdo, and you are looking the part, nice shoes and all of that. Just add your confidence to it. Project it, like walk like you are special. Nobody will don't expect someone to make you feel special. See, you are so special in your own way that you have no idea. And that's one thing that always affects our thinking and, our confidence. Who you two know today? Let them say. And I've always maintained that me, until you get to know me or you get close to me, you will never know the kind of person I am. From a distance, you will think that I am too known or whatever. Sally is a perfect example, your organizing secretary. So she was an intern at TV3, so she was on most of our productions and all of that. I don't even know at what point Sally and I became close. But for some funny reason, she made the effort to get close. She made that effort. Sometimes you come on set and whatever, she will approach you, she wants to help with this. And I kept telling the other people around that I like her work, how the zeal she works with, like she's ready to learn. And I knew very well that what she was doing, it's not like she's getting paid. She's not a full-time worker, all right, but she was working even more than people who were full-time workers. And that's the thing. That's how Sally has been able to get close to almost all the presenters at TV3. It is not Ahosheshe. There's a thin line between Ahosheshe and then knowing that you want something from someone, and so you are connecting in the right way. It's a reason today I'm standing here, because if she had not made that effort to get close to me or to Alfred or to Giovanni, and go on, because if you come and talk to me, maybe I'll tell you, because today I have work at 1. And on a normal day, by this time, I'm sorry, I'm going to get it ready. But I had to wake up and be here because she's been drumming it in my head. Hey, Anne, you have to be here. Oh, Anne, you have to be here. And I'm like, I have to show up. Because she's made that effort to show her seriousness, number 1. She's shown that she wants to do something for herself, number 2. And number 3, she also wants to make an impact. So you see, she did not wait for her to complete school before she starts making those moves. For all you know, by the time you're done with school, you may not be in those spaces that now you are. So now you may have the opportunity to go do your internships in any media organization, or even if it's not a media organization, it's and it's a corporate entity, you can still make those connections. I was telling the Radio GIJ team that when you meet anybody that you want to connect with, don't go and beat about the bush. Oh. Anna, I follow you on social media. I like your picture. This dress you are wearing. If by the time I'll make you introduce you, you've lost the person. How about, oh, hi, good afternoon. My name is so and so. I'm from this school, and I want to connect with you on this level. I want to learn with from you. Blah 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 blah. State your intentions. Be so clear about it. Be so confident about it. And in recent times, I've had that opportunity with a few people from GIG, and I'm like, that's how it should be. There's one guy, I've forgotten his name, Titus. The kind of confidence that guy approached me with, I've never seen some before. Any bro. So Titus, I was in the lecture hall, and then Titus walks in confidently, and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? Saying, hi, my name is Titus. I'm a student here, and I think he holds a position like that. And then he went straight to say that I'm organizing this event, blah blah blah, and I would want you to be part of the event. Bring on your expertise, bring on your knowledge. He went straight to the point. And then I had no option than to tell him that I'm giving you my word. I'll be part of this event. Just keep me updated on when it's happening, your plans and all of that. So imagine if Obama and Obama stay with, oh, I like your hair, I like your outfit, I like your social media. And by that time, when you get to what you really want from me, you've lost me because I'm wondering, is he admiring me? Does he like my fashion sense? Or he really wants to do this? So make good use of these connections, but make sure that you're going straight to the point. Say it as it is. If you tell the person that you can't tell or that one, doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't. Because there's been people with whom we approach them, and Charlie, they didn't mind us. But last, God has a way of doing things. Maybe it isn't God's will for those people to be in your life. It isn't God's will for them to do anything for you. And it is perfectly fine. When I was in senior high school, that's at that time, there was one man who owns one of the biggest media organizations in Ghana. And I used to send him messages because I wanted to be on TV. And fast forward to somewhere 2020, he met me at the VGMAs. And he was like, do you remember you used to send me messages on Facebook? And I was like, me. And even when he mentioned the year, I was like, hey, are you sure? He opened his Facebook. 16, 17-year-old me, the messages I had sent to this man constantly. And now, 20-something-year-old me was so shocked. I was like, hey, where was I getting the confidence from? How was I able to be boldly sending this man that I revere so much these messages? But guess what? Every single message I sent him, he replied. He was always constantly engaging me. And he engaged me not in a way that, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend. No. And there's a reason I have so much respect for that man. I'm not going to mention his name. I have so much respect for him. Fast forward, years later, I still had the opportunity to work with his company in a way that I never thought I was going to. All along, he was the one behind it, engineering everything. So imagine the way I approached him and my consistency, it left a mark in his mind. And it made it work. And so make sure that when you're sliding into the DMs, go straight to the point. Show your seriousness from the onset. If you show seriousness and whoever doesn't give you that same energy back, you know what to do, especially my ladies. If you're giving seriousness and then you're coming for confidence and knowing that, oh, it's just a human and and the person is coming with something else, you know that this is not the place for me to be. It's that simple. It's not cast in stone that everybody you contact will have to help you or will have to connect with you on that same level. And it's perfectly fine. When you have the mental strength to be able to accept that and know it's a redirection to something else that is good and will be better for your life, there's absolutely no way you will be down. Or you let certain no's from certain people affect you. The no's are perfectly fine. The no's and the turn downs, trust me, they are perfectly fine because years later, you will sit back And when you think about all the no's you got, all the doors that were closed in your face, you realize that it was for a good reason. And God knew exactly what He was doing in your life. And so at this point, if you're trying to get some internship opportunities and you're not getting them, it is perfectly fine. But that doesn't mean that you should also give up on getting those opportunities or connecting with certain people who will help your life. So this is where I'll allow you to ask questions, as many as you can. How many questions can I take? Moderator, how many can I take? Hey, hey, mommy, 25 questions. Should I be nice? Should you let's start. Let's start with the five. If we still have more questions, probably we'll just take it. This gentleman, what's your name again? What's your name? Yep, Frank. So Frank Yebua. Okay, which level are you in? You are fresher and you are this popular. What does he do that makes you all? Please give him the microphone. I want to. What? Because I realize that you guys love him so much. That's good for a fresher. Give him a round of applause. Yeah. Okay. Please come closer and ask your question.
Okay, my undisputed Madam Anita. Thank you very much. When you were talking, okay, calm down your horses. It seems like the white matters is becoming unbearable. Okay, so my question, by the way, I'm called Fakebo. I'm reading communication studies, journalism option, and my question for this afternoon, this morning is very simple and such. Okay, we the mentees look upon you, the mentors, physically, emotionally, psychologically, holistically, financially, and in your versatility. This afternoon, I asked this imperative question. How is one going to effectively channel or navigate the seeking of guidance and counseling from his or her module in building him or herself? Thank you very much.
Frank, it looks like you said a lot, but yeah, what did be? Senior high school and happened.
Você isso na high school, sabe o bastante, porque eu tenho
So they tell you all of this English. Wow. So you know what? Break it down, okay? Especially for your mates here. They want to understand where exactly you are coming, where you're from. Okay, and to tone down on it. When you get to exam and all of that, you can write the razzmatazz and blah blah blah. Why? Okay, so break it down.
Okay, so Madam Anita, I was saying that how is one going to effectively channel or navigate his or her capability through guidance and counseling from the role module?
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to getting guidance and counseling from people, it starts with how you navigate the entire process, how serious you are with everything. And I see people wanting to be mentees and having mentors and all of that, but they really do not know which kind of the people to choose in the first place. Because you can't be in a different field and want to get someone who is not in any way related to the field you are in to first of all guide you and mentor you. Is the person also willing to mentor you? Because some people feel like, okay, how against let me just bring the person around and then what, a thing or two, and then that's it. Someone who will be dedicated to your cause, someone who will make sure that of the way that person is guiding you. I'm hoping that you do your research on who you want to mentor you, even before you approach the person. Not just because the person is a public figure. What are you going to get from that person? Is that person going to be able to mentor you well? Are your plans and initiatives going to align very well with each other? It has to also be someone that, in the long run, you can, and it can become like your friend, your big sister, or your brother, even though there's that mutual respect as well. So these are things you have to check even before getting into that. But in terms of mentoring you, it all boils down to how you communicate what you want from the person. If you if you don't communicate well, you may exact result for. Okay.
So thank you very much, Madam Anita, for explaining it vividly. And I love how you are putting yourself on the media stage. A very big felicitations to you.
Hey, hey, Asemu. Right.
Please, when you can, just go straight to the point because the time is very limited. And let's have the other three here. The other three, just come forward. Just three. Thank you. Go straight to the
Hi, Anita. Can I mention my name? Alright, so Anita, we are talking about passion for something. So here lies the case, you have passion for something you want to do, but then your parents are not willing to support. They want you to do something they feel it's right. How do you go about it? In my case, me applying to be in Unimark, my dad was like, nah, go to the teaching field. That place you earn more. But then I was like, I don't want to. I want to be here. And to be honest with you, coming here, I had to do everything by myself. It was later that I had to go and talk to my under, try to talk to my dad to understand that this is something I've always wanted to do. Back from JHS, all my teachers knew that when it comes to public speaking, I'm good. So they knew that definitely juniors will come to this space. But then my dad is still not willing because there's some perception that guys in this field are, which I won't mention. So how do you go about it?
There's something I think we share in common. My dad, what is you want to be a journalist? You want to be on TV? He never, I mean, he was never in support of it. Thankfully, the only person that supported me wanting to do this was my mom. She sort of, felt like if it makes you happy, why not? As compared to my dad. So my very first year after completing senior high school, he says go to Legon, and I did home accounts actually. I did home accounts. So he's like, go and buy forms for nursing or business administration, either of the two. But even growing up personally, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an English teacher. I loved my English teachers so much that they inspired me to want to take up that profession. But along the line, someone also realized that I think the way you love to talk, you should go into this, and I decided to get into that. And he never agreed. When I picked up the forms, admissions came and my name wasn't packed. I wasn't sad. I was rather excited because I felt like I had been proven right that this is not for me. Second year, this man says, go and buy another form for the same school. I'm like, me, like. I picked up the money and then I went straight to GIG. I bought the forms. I won't advise anyone to do that. I won't. The fact that they work for me doesn't mean it will work for you. Because by the time you get home, they'll cut off your head. So please. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I bought the forms, admissions came, my name was on the board. Now, the biggest thing was to tell my dad. 3-4 days, I couldn't tell him. Then later on, I mastered the courage and decided to tell him. He's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, then pay your fees. You're on your own. And again, it was my mom and a few other people that supported me. And guess what? One of the promises I made to myself was that as I'm going to this DIJ, if after a few years, it's not working like he said, oh, you won't get any good jobs, no money, it's not okay, you become wayward, all the things he said. If it goes that way, I see it is going that way. Me now, come back and come in, the prodigal daughter, come and beg. Come and beg that, hey, I've lifted my hands, so I'll do the nursing, whatever it is. But even though that was what I had in mind, I still told myself that I'm going to prove this man wrong. I'm going to prove to him that it is possible to do this and be successful at it. I'm not successful yet, though. No, not yet. But you can do this, make an impact, and you can distinguish yourself from several other people, and you will not be added to the bunch. In the first few years, it was difficult. I don't lie to you. It was so difficult because he didn't understand me, especially when in the early days, oh, no money, there's no money coming. You go and sit on set looking shepe, you are talking about passion, you are talking about this, and you look excited on TV. But last, at the end of the day, the money you are getting it's just for transportation. And so at that point, he felt like he was right. But I knew it was just a matter of time. And he just had to give me some time to, find my feet. Today, fast forward, after all those moments, now he rather calls me and I have a very cool relationship with my dad. For that one, that whole thing did not mess up our relationship of the sort. And he calls me to advise me, he calls me to give me the positive feedback. And the amazing thing is that my church, the church I was born into, Church of Christ, they are very conservative. They are not social media, talking about people on TV and all of that. And one of the things that today I am extremely excited about, and I'm so proud of, is that a pastor in that church is able to stand in front of that church and use me to preach to the young people in the church. And my dad is seated in front and listening. And I'm like, this is the dream. Because it's only God that can do this. And now he rather calls to give me that feedback. When people in church talk about me, and the amazing thing is that pastor in the church is my friend. He watches me on Date Rush and will be sending me feedback. Watches me on GMB, and I'm like, what can't God do? When you decide to pursue your passion, allow God to take the steer. Not there about me, steer. And you allow God to take the steer and take control of your. He will do amazing things that even the people that did not support you in the beginning, they will become your biggest fans. So you see, sometimes just focus and make sure you're proving those people wrong. That shouldn't be your objective. It should be about you doing this for yourself, regardless of what any other person thinks. But in the long run, they will all realize that you have a point. So it's all that. So your parents have their say. They will always have a reason for wanting you to do something. But it's good you've also chosen what you're about to make sure that it pays off in the end. Okay. Welcome.
Okay, so my question is, aside you being passionate in working in the media, what is that one thing that keep you going aside your passion?
What is that one thing that keeps me going? What a question. Apart from my passion, that how far I've come. When I sit down and I think of certain things that have happened in my life, things that I thought it was going to take a very long time for them to happen, and the fact that God has made it possible, and then I think about what the future even looks like. If God has been able to do all of these things for me, what can't He do? So it gives me that drive. It makes me so excited about almost everything I'm doing. Because, trust me, there's so many things that have happened to me that I didn't have to lift a finger for. There are so many things. But every other, apart from the hard work that, of course, I put in and all of that, 99.9% of it is the doing of the Lord. So that is the thing that it keeps me going. The fact that He wakes me up every morning. The fact that I sometimes pray about certain things and it comes to pass. And when they even come to pass, you're like, you don't even realize it sometimes. So apart from my passion that makes me really, really excited about everything I'm doing, it's a thought of how bright the future looks like. It's the reason I don't want to give up. Why would I give up when I close my eyes and I'm seeing that my future is so bright? Why give up? So if you can have those mental pictures in your head, how you want your future to look like, how you see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15 years, that alone is motivation. Okay? All right.
Okay, thank you for this great opportunity. My question this morning is, you have been a journalist or you have been into this professional for so many years. And I want to know that difficult thing that you've passed through, that you will use it as a word of encouragement to encourage we those that look up to you.
Thank you. I think the most challenging moment for me, okay, I'll say two challenging moments. I think the first I've shared with you, having to go against, my dad and all of those obstacles. I think that was the first challenging moment for me because I was pretty young at that time, and it looked like I was being disrespectful, basically. And when you have that tag, in your family, in certain circles, it's not a good feeling sometimes. So I think that would be the first challenging moment for me. Second challenging moment is doing something you love and not getting enough for it. It is challenging, my dear. It is extremely challenging. So I started TV in 2015, and the first organization I got to work with, I wasn't working there full time because I was also in school. So I needed something that I could balance academics and then working with. So I'll go and shoot. Sometimes I will shoot on Tuesdays or whichever day within the week, and then I'll come. So from there, I close around 2 thereabout, come straight to GIJ for lectures. By the time I even get to class, I'm tired. But regardless, and through it all, every single shoot I did, I was getting 50 CDs. So the 50 CDs, when you put it together in a month, that's like 200 CDs because we were shooting 4 times. And unfortunately for me too, it was a fashion TV show. So you have to look the part. You can't come and be sitting there talking about fashion and then your makeup is not on point. Your hair is not on point. Your outfits are not on point. Luckily, I had people sorting me out with all of those things in terms of, looking that way. But my pocket wasn't looking the way I was looking. I look, all of that. But Charlie, the pocket, it was not reflecting in my pocket. Initially, it didn't worry me till I realized that I had done this for like a year or two, and still it wasn't looking too good like that. That can be a challenge. That can make you think that the people who were advising you earlier, they were right. Or the people who felt like this job outside doesn't pay, they were right. But I realized also that, okay, it's now that it's that way, it will definitely get better. And so a lot of young people, when they get into this field from the beginning, if you're not careful, you'll be deterred by not getting money. Because I've worked in places where the interns, the interns now, you are not getting money already. Now, baby, almost over car every day. You eat. There was one gentleman I worked with, and when it was lunchtime and we were going for lunch some years ago, there was a dispenser in the office. He came with a flask every day to work. He was an intern. And he will come, and when it's lunchtime, you see him walk to the dispenser so many times. He's always dispensing water when it's lunchtime. You will see him eating. He doesn't go out for lunch because in a conversation with him, he was like, his money is for transportation. There's nothing like going to eat, even going to buy something as little as biscuits was difficult for him. And even in the mornings, his transportation doesn't afford him the luxury of getting to the office. So he drops at 37 and walks from there. So imagine having to go through all of this. If you're not careful, it will break you down. It will make you feel like it's not worth it at the end of the day. But that same gentleman, now he's so popular on Facebook, and I see his post every time, and I'm like, it's good this gentleman did not give up. Because having to work in a space and not being paid for like a year or 2 or 3 is challenging. But guess what? Sometimes you get just one break that will change everything around. It will just turn everything around, and then your finances will start improving. So don't let the money start deterring you. It's good though. I'm not saying it's not good. The money is good. You have to be making money. But from the beginning, it will not be as rosy as you think it's going to be. So you just have to take your time. And that's a challenge you may face. If you're lucky to, you may not face that challenge. And hallelujah. But if you do too, hallelujah. Welcome.
All right, thank you. I'm Hagar, and I would like to ask, how did you get your big break in the media industry? And what advice would you give aspiring media personalities?
How did I get my big break? Hey, have I gotten a big break? We haven't gone international yet, so we'll see. Yeah, but say, my big break. Looking back, I'm finding it a bit difficult to place my finger on something I'll say is a big break. But let me be fair in terms of a lot of people getting to know me, getting a lot of opportunities. I'll say it's coming to Media General. And I'm saying that because before I came to Media General, I had quit working at GH1 for months. I had been home for like 7, 8 months. And I think some people realize, some people also did not realize that I have stopped being on TV. And it's very, how do I put it? It was very strange when I got the call that, oh, there's an opportunity at Media General. I'm like, eh? Me that I haven't been on TV, because I was looking at probably doing something else with my life. Because I didn't know how, after not being on TV for quite a while and getting the opportunity and, having to work with a station like TV3, that was a major one for me because, see, it's not a joke to get such opportunities, especially when you've been home for quite a while. So that was my big break. And the fact that in 2020, especially when I joined TV3, shortly after COVID hit. So you can imagine having to join in January and then March thereabouts, there's COVID. And I was thinking, hey, what is going to happen to me? But that's how God works as well. It was even during that moment where we had COVID-19 360 happening, there was Date Rush happening, there was Lady Circle happening, and a lot of things were happening. And then I sat down at some point and I was like, wow, looking at my life in 2019 and how God just turned everything around for me in 2020. So I said, 2020 coming to Media General was my big break because from my socials to the opportunities I've gotten within the last 5 years of being at TV3, it's been my big break. It's been my biggest break actually. So yeah, that's how I'll put it. Yeah. Welcome. I guess that'll be all for your questions. It's been great, interactive. I'm looking forward to interacting with some of you. So if you want to get in touch with me, of course, Sally is the best person to go through to. If you have any questions, you have anything you're working on, you need some help on, you need some advice on, just talk to Sally. She'll get in touch with me. Thank you guys so much. It's been great talking to all of you. I'll make way for my other speakers to also share their thoughts on today's discussion. Thank you.
You can do more than that.